race fans to tonight's doubleheader with the FEG PC Network. We've got 2 rounds for you tonight, one at Charlotte Motor Speedway, followed up by the second round at Daytona International. So 2 races, 1 night. They're squeezing in a bunch of actions to kind of make up for the holiday weekend, so it should be a good time. We're starting off with the FEG PC Truck Series in Charlotte. We're going to be running the trucks every Monday night. We've got the FEG PC Dirt Race Tuesday nights. And then finally, we'll be also covering the FEG PC Cup Series on Wednesday night. So 3 days back-to-back-to-back action. A lot of really good racers out here tonight, so it should be a good one as we open up here in Charlotte. I'm James East from the Team Goon Squad Racing Network. Very glad to have you guys. Looking forward to a very fun night here. So we're looking at the notes we have for tonight's race against a doubleheader, Charlotte Motor Speedway, then Daytona. Current points leader is going to be Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's up 5 points over second place, Michael J. Johnson. And then trailing behind is Chad Ross. He's third in points. He's still in the fight with about 30 points separating him and Michael J. Johnson. We did talk to McCullough briefly before we fired off practice here tonight. McCullough, who's had his highest finish so far in the season with a second place last event at Darlington. When we talked to Ken, he said he just hopes to keep it clean tonight in both rounds and aims to keep bringing home really good, consistent finishes. So McCullough has not had a first place finish yet. It has been elusive so far in the FEG PC Elite Truck Series. So he's going to try and bring home a first today, so he's going to want to watch. He's going to keep an eye on Michael J. Johnson and Chad Ross, 3 really good hard hitters. Now tonight's racing, it is an 11-point incident point limit, a 65% fuel allotment, and only 2 tire sets are allocated to drivers in their pit box. So tire wear is going to be a factor for the races, but for the most part, these guys can do their best to keep it clean, keep it green, and chug all the way around here. So it should be a good night of racing. Fired off. Again, 2 rounds going on tonight. Next week will be at the Worldwide Technology Raceway for another 100 laps. 100 laps here in Charlotte tonight as well. So really good racing coming up here. These guys are running until, I believe, November 15th. They are firing up segment 2. We got a little bit of a brief Jeff Scott series owner. There will be no fast repairs for Charlotte in this mile-and-a-halfer. At Daytona, there is 1 single fast repair. Kind of time to make one year to count and keep back in the race. So here at FEG PC, the only tracks they do fast repairs on are Daytona, Talladega, and Bristol, kind of the 3 big premier tracks. We want to see all the races out there give a fighting chance. But other than that, no other races here at FEG PC have fast repair. Normally it's a 1 and you're done. So I mentioned segment 2 starting off. They run their series in 2 big segments. So segment 2, the prize payout is $1,000 for the pin in the segment. $1,000 cash money. This 10th race, second segment. There will be a $250 reward for second place, a $250 reward for third place, and $250 for a random driver in the league. So even if you're not one of those top guys in the running here, you still have a chance to bring home $250 just from a gamble itself. So definitely something you want to get into. If you're interested, go to FEG.net. Find some really good guys to race with and have a lot of fun every week. So again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they've got racing action going on for you. So guaranteed to be a pretty good time out here. Current guys to watch, TJ O'Hairens, he's on top of the board in provincial practice. Michael J. Johnson sits in second and Matthew Lee's in third. Current points leader Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's 4th in open practice. All these guys separated by little weather. O'Hairens got a pretty fast lap down so far, 30.36. After that, it looks like pretty much everybody from second all the way down to 8th is in that 30 range. Jay Johnson with a 4.41. He's currently in second, but all the way down to 8th, we've got Donald Stewart with a 30.49. So not a lot of time separating these top 8 drivers here tonight. We're going to check out Chad Ross. He circulates the track in this Charlotte Motor Speedway is one of those tracks that looks like it's pretty simple, and anybody that ran the Coca-Cola 600 in iRacing can tell you otherwise. Once the tires really start to wear in, the trucks start to tighten up, these guys are going to move their brake markers way, way back as they're trying to figure things out. The longer you go, the tougher it gets here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A couple points of interest. 1 and 2, you're going to see drivers kind of holding a nice swooping line. I believe that middle line is going to be where the most traction can be found out here on the racetrack. And then you're going to see a lot of passing in the backstretch with the draft really coming into play. I think with these setups they're running tonight, you're not going to see cars or trucks being too loose and having to worry about it. Maybe coming off in 2, maybe coming off in 4, you'll see trucks with a little bit of rear end wiggling out there. But I think for the most part, the trucks are going to be drive once they get in the groove. The thing they're going to have to worry about is the trucks getting too tight as they go into this. So, always interested to see what the guys can put out there for us, what they can make happen. But I'm expecting really good racing from start to finish. With these such good drivers, you're not going to see as many cautions fests as you would in a lobby or in a series with a little bit less stacked field. So just looking at time and score, we see a couple guys out there with 6,000 I rating. A lot of 1800s, 2700s, 5600s, 2700s. A very, very stacked field here tonight. Looks like we've got 20 drivers in the session so far with 18 turning laps. And not a lot of time separating the top field. We've got a 30.36 on provincial practice. All the way back to 18th, we've got Joshua Dooney. Separating the start from the back here. That's a good sign of good, clean racing. What I'm curious to see is, I believe, from my understanding, is everyone starts off with brand new sets for segment 2. And then after segment 2, they start over again with fresh points for everybody. So even if you had a rough go in segment 1, had a good go your way, segment 2 still gives you an opportunity to get out there and do that $1,000 prize. I'm excited. I know tonight's a doubleheader. I think tomorrow is a doubleheader with the Dirt Series. The Cup Series so let's see about that one. Just a ton of good racing coming up. 17 changes, Toyota's making its way around. Michael Johnson, he's making his way back out there. He's got really bad blinking issues, it looks like. Johnson having internet woes with the number 39 machine. Hopefully something can get sorted out before the actual race starts, or how bad it is even before qualifying starts. The way iRacing works, if you're invisible for so much of your lap time, it will actually not record your laps. So in qualifying, that is a huge thing you want to get corrected beforehand, because you can't put down a good qualifying, especially when the field's only separated by 3/10 from top to bottom. You want to be able to get the best qualifying you can, and most importantly, you want to make it count with your internet connection. Take it back over to Chad Ross. He's our third fastest so far in the practice. Chad with a 33.45 and 5.8 in the last go around. So he's found a little bit of speed, but not finding many people to draft with either. So Chad's kind of out there by his lonesome. He's got a little help from behind, but that draft is easily worth a couple tenths around here at Charlotte. As tight as it is, you can still get some pretty good drafting going on around the tri-oval, especially on the back straight. If you get a good drive out of 2 and really get next to it, behind somebody, rapidly gain some time. Chad just kind of circling out there all by himself. He does have, I believe that's Peyton behind him, Peyton Howell, but then Chad brings in to try something different. Yeah, that was Peyton Howell in 70 right behind Chad. He's trying to get a little bit of a toe from Chad, I believe. He did his personal best, 30.52 that last lap around. So following Mr. Chad Ross definitely helped him out a little bit. Checking out Chad Ross at 38. He's getting tons and tons of laps when he can, but looks like he's going to park it next to the pit out with only 10 seconds left in practice. He's going to hold it right there and get ready for his qualifying session. And that's going to be interesting for everybody. I'm very interested to see how it's going to shake down here at Charlotte in this round one. All right, we're getting ready for qualifying. Who is going to be the first car out? Who's going to be the guy absolutely sending it, trying to put down the best time he possibly can? Looks like Peyton Howell is going to be one of the first guys out, but we're going to see how this shakes down. I think pretty much guaranteed here is you're not going to see a lot of people trying to cheese qualifying. I don't know if it's in the rule set or not for the FEG PC guys, but a common thing drivers will do is try and warm up tires and get a better line that way. But Peyton Howell, the commentator's curse, he might have blown pit road, and he's going to come back in and maybe try it again. Watching TJ O'Haron in the 09 machine in his Toyota. O'Haron was one of, if not the fastest guy out in qualifying. So we're going to see if O'Haron can put down some more lap times. We're going to see these guys do, especially qualifying. You're going to see them kind of running that mid to high line the first couple laps. And then on their final flyer, they're going to drop as low as they possibly can and try and make that track as short as they can. And then see if they can kind of squeeze out just another, maybe half a tenth is all they're going to be looking for. But using every single bit of the race line they can, but let's wait for timing to update. But it looks like O'Haron's still sitting in fourth. Chad Ross up in first. Chad with a 30.54 last time around. Second, third, fourth, all in the 30.7. So let's see if Ross has something else for him here so far. Something you might also see is guys kind of holding back, seeing who else goes out, who qualifies first. Again, we're all kind of waiting to see what Kenneth McCullough Jr. does. He hasn't been out yet. McCullough, kind of the odds-on favorite. He is our current points leader, but again, he's only had a career best so far with his second place here at Darlington. So Kenneth has the speed to consistently run up front, and that's probably the biggest thing here is consistency. If he can keep clicking off podium positions, and he's going to keep growing that points lead as everybody else either does really well or kind of falls off, but still waiting for Kenneth to go out on track. Derek Fulton, our lone... No, we got two Canadians out here tonight. We've got Derek Fulton representing Canada. We've also got William Lothar. He's out there as well. So our two Canadians doing pretty good so far. Waiting for Derek to put down his hot lap. But William Lothar, he's currently sitting in provisional fifth with a 30.73. Watching Derek Fulton right now, see what Mr. Fulton can put down number 7 machine with the FEG PC paint job. Not sure if he gets extra credit for that one or not, but it does look really, really good. still waiting for Mr. Kent to go out. But Derek Fulton, he puts himself up to 4th place so far. He drops at 30.58, so about 700ths off the provincial pole position of currently owned by Mr. Stephen Page, running the number 1 car. So he's putting that car right where it deserves as far as qualifying goes so far. Derek Fulton's going to bring it in. He's done with his qualifying. He's going to top out in 4th with a 30.58, so excellent run. We've got 3rd, 4th, and 5th all running 30.58, so a lot of really, really fast guys out here. So Peyton Howell's going to go out. He's going to make a run at it and see what he can do. A lot of these drivers trying to play the long game. They've got not tons of time to get out there and put down lap time, so I'm not sure if there's a strategy here for the guys that haven't put down qualifying. We've got Kenneth McCullough Jr., Peyton Howell, Matthew Lee, and Donald Stewart all have not put down times yet. So Powell and I think it was Stewart's still out on track, but Powell puts down, not showing him on scoring. I'm not sure if Howell might have crossed the flip line and kind of gotten a black flag or what might have happened, but Powell's currently not showing a time so far in scoring, so we'll see what it shows at this time by. So that was it for qualifying. Up in front, we've got Michael Johnson, Stephen Page, Chad Ross, Kate Seaman, Derek Fulton, Jay Dargaret, Jose Medina, Matthew Lee, William Lothar, Buddy Pitts, Joshua Doob, and TJ O'Haron's going to be our top 12. Then we've got Matthew Curry, James Kaufman, Jeffrey Radke, Joseph Burgess, Eric Parks, Peyton Howell, Kenneth McCullough Jr., and Donald Stewart is going to round out the top 20. So it looks like McCullough did not get down to qualifying, so not sure how that's going to affect him in the overall tonight, but that's going to be our 20 cars starting the grid. 100 laps here, ladies and gentlemen. Charlotte Motor Speedway. They've got no fast repairs for this opening round, 2 sets of tires. And additionally, there's only a 65% fuel limit, so not quite sure how they're going to be able to go on a tank with that 65 fuel allotment. I'm assuming it's going to be around the lap 40 or so. That is an educated guess from what I got running the Coca-Cola 600 the other night. And regular cup cars with full fuel, I believe pit window is around 60 to 70 laps is the most you can squeeze. So the trucks are going to be a little bit less, and I guess almost as half as much with that 65% fuel allotment. So we're going to get ready to grid them up behind that iRacing pace car. 100 laps around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Judging by the quality of the drivers we have here tonight, I'm hoping for a lot of green flag runs. This isn't a league you normally see with a lot of crashes. Also, again, big shout out to the FEG PC Network. These guys put on a good show every week here, so expecting a lot of good, clean racing. Again, Monday nights they've got trucks, Tuesday they've got dirt, Wednesday they've got cup. So whatever your iRacing kind of niche is, they've got something going on for you. So check them out at FEGPC.net. I think there's still signups going on for a couple of leagues as they start segment 2 for a couple different things. So check them out, get in on the action. But I think action's the word of the night, as it's going to be a good one as they go around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Michael Johnson up front, Stephen Page, Chad Ross, Cale Seaman, Eric Fulton. Those are all our top 5. So a lot of talented guys out there tonight. Stack them up 2 by 2 as they get ready to go. I think that's Michael Johnson still having blinking issues. So not what you want to see from Mr. Johnson, that 39 machine. He's got problems. Johnson, despite his internet issues, did have a great qualifying time. It was enough for P2, so let's see how this affects him in the race. The pace car is in. Johnson gets a massive, massive launch. Johnson with really bad internet issues. Not sure what's going on there. Not sure what race control is going to make of that. But able to keep their connection long enough to kind of get them impromptu EOL because it's so dangerous to race around the guys. Formation for the most part. A little bit of action going down there in the back 10 or so as they go 2 by 2. These front 10 trucks or so are willing to play nicely, it looks like, and keep a single file. But man, Johnson having a big, big problem. Worst thing you can do with this is try and make a pass when the car reappears somewhere. So, here we go. They're starting to get 2 or 3 wide. Chad Ross, if you look on the inside of Stephen Page, he's going to try and make it stick. Matthews also he's up 5 spots from the beginning, but all this pack's kind of getting held up by, it looks like Chad Ross with a terrific internet problem. Not Chad Ross, Michael Johnson. Chad Ross actually takes the lead. Chad Ross getting a good push from Matthew Lee. Starting to race. It looks like Johnson's kind of gotten out of the way. He rode the outside wall a lot of cars in the past. So glad to see a caution wasn't enforced there. That's the last thing anybody out here wants to see. Spectators, announcers, and such racing. So so far from the FEG guys. Right now, it's Chad Ross, so he's down a third last time round. That's the best of his race so far. What strategy guys are on? Some of the guys want to save tires for a little bit, or if maybe they're content just hammering down as hard as they possibly can right off the get-go. Chad Ross looks like he's doing a lot of tire saving, like he's doing a whole lot of driving. Taking a look at William Lothar, he's currently running 7th place. Things are pretty clean. He's second fastest today right now. Right as we say it, he gets edged out by the 26, gives him a huge, huge bump. 47, William Lothar manages to hold on to it, but he's going to have some air damage with number 26 kind of hit the back. I'm not sure if that was a bump and run or somebody checked up more than they thought they would, but that almost got ugly really quick. Danger of William Lothar holding on to that. That was a spectacular save. That truck's going to have a little bit of damage on that back left, and I'm telling you, only 6 laps in, so he's got a long way to go to try and save tires. He's got a wounded truck at this point. We take it back out front, still Chad Ross and Adam Page running pretty clean. He's spread out, not running full-blown nose to tail here tonight, so interesting to see how this shakes up as it progresses. Jr. currently showing in 20th place. He's not having to start anyone in Michael Johnson currently in 19th place. He's down 18 positions. So, oh man, if Ross can finish here, this will be absolutely massive. Down low. See if he can make it stick going into edges downside, just the inside of Ross. He gets about 3 there. Great pass to lead for Matthew. He's running great tonight. He's on 7 minutes of great start tonight. So the guys absolutely hammer it down, but Chad Ross still right behind him. Left out of the game. Kate Hager doing 7 machine. He's running 4th place up 2 spots. He's kind of got a little bit of a pack behind him. He's got Garrett Coleman, our current fastest Canadian, and TJ O'Haron right behind him. Those guys are trying to run nose to tail, trying to learn the train working together. Man, something that hard. Matthew Lee, Chad Ross still battling back and forth. Seen a little bit different lines working so far. We've seen Matthew Lee trying to get rid of that inside line 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but Chad Ross run that mid to high line a little bit better. Not sure if Ross is higher that way. Maybe it's a little faster for him, but my understanding that mid to high line was a little bit higher. The problem is that the truck starts to tighten up, the track starts to tighten up. You're kind of running the risk of a little bit wider than front end and fall. But man, these guys not yielding again. Chad Ross all over lead right now. Both working in very different lines. Ross is definitely running a higher line. Not sure if it allows Page, Jay Dagger here to kind of train truck right behind him to catch up. I think it is. Those guys are running a little bit more single file while those lead 2 cars trucks are doing different things and trying to work it out. That's going to slow down their pace just a little bit for those, let's call it 4 or 5 trucks behind them. Pretty much run single file. Help with the arrow a good bit, that draft battle a good bit. Steve Page trying to get right behind Ross at this point. Page is good for the main order as well.
cockpit trying to reel in those trucks in front of them. Not much slip angle that we're seeing from the trucks. A little bit of the baby in the throttle as they get down low, start hammering on, and as soon as they hit their apex, they can drive as hard as they possibly can. Definitely definitely starting to tighten up. With 20 laps in, the drivers are going to be definitely feeling the tire wear coming on. So far, I think the hard charge is definitely going to go to Mr. Peyton Howell. Peyton, the number 71 machine. He is up 9 positions from where he started this race. So Peyton's a man on a mission. He's driving great. We're in different lines. His best so far is a 30.72, so he's actually done one of the faster lap times of the race so far. That's probably what helps him jump up from 18th place to 9 right now, but Peyton's driving absolutely fantastic. Second most game positions behind him, Peyton gets another one. Second most positions is Matthew Lee, our current leader. He's up 7 spots. Laps, 21 done so far. I have 100 laps each here. It's good, clean racing, and this is what we also saw in a lot of the Coca-Cola 600 racers. Guys were pretty happy to second when they were way off the pace for whatever reason. Run single file, save some tires, and try to really push towards the end and make something happen that way. So I think we're seeing more of the same here at Charlotte. Now our second race of the night, Daytona, that's going to be exciting. From start to finish. I don't think you're going to see as much single file action. That's a track you can definitely get 2 lines working if you got a 51 to commit with you. I think you're going to see less single file in that second race. Bring this super speedway, especially when the racers knowing they've got one fast repair in their back pocket. If they do make a big mistake and send the truck flying around, they've got options to get back out there. Pace definitely slowing up quite a bit. If these guys are currently running 32s, 32.2s, so on and so forth, with their best lap times being 30.8, so over a second slower now. Tire wear comes in. The truck's actually pushing up to that outside wall, and that's where you can see some incidents happen. It won't be a high speed wreck for something to happen, but it will put you in danger of getting run over from trucks behind you as well. Right now, it is the Matthew Lee show. He's got a beautiful 04 Toyota running out front. He's got a second gap right now between him and second place Chad Ross. So Lee's got a pretty comfortable lead. Looks like you can hear him lifting a little bit earlier, trying to save those tires and keep the truck down low. So if you got the pace and you know how to tire save, you're sitting in a very good position to bring the field in first place for that green flag pit stop. Kenneth McCullough Jr., we talked about him early in the broadcast. We did a little bit of a pre-race chat with him to see where his head at. He's up 6 positions, he's in 14. I'm pretty sure was not setting a qualifying time. So Kenneth able to start to get some of the bugs worked out. He's climbing his way up. Not sure if he's going to have the pace to make something happen towards the end of the race, even with a green flag pit stop, or even with a yellow, to be perfectly honest. So it's going to be curious to see if he's better than we thought he would. And Michael Johnson also having a very rough night. He's 16th place now after dropping all the way back. Not sure if he's got his internet issues dialed in or what he had going on, but you hate to see that from such a fast driver. Currently got a race going on for second here. Making a move on Chad Ross. She's getting a little bit of a drive, trying to make something happen. You run that inside line here in Charlotte. You want to drift up the track on that back straight and try and get the best drives. But if you got somebody like Chad Ross right on the outside, he's got the preferred line leaving the corner. He can carry a little bit more speed and kind of pinch you down there, and that's going to help wear out the tires of Darren Colton's 7 truck. Guys running side by side doesn't really help them out at all, trying to get up back towards Matthew Lee, that second gap. I think he's going to get clear right there. He is. He's going to get a little bit of a bump from Chad Ross. They're going to run nose to tail all the way back. And hopefully these guys start working together. They might be able to bring back a little bit of pace and reel in Matthew Lee. He's sitting sitting at 9/10 ahead of the guys. I think Ross might have just got bumped there. I think he did in the 38 machine. He drops way off pace. Not sure if two trucks went to the same line or what they had going on, but Fulton's man on a mission. He chipped away at that gap to lead. It is 8/10 and rapidly dropping. He's almost at 7/10 now. Fulton with a 32.33 last lap by, compared to Lee's 32.48, so that's 1/10 right there on one lap. With an 8/10 gap, he might be able to start reeling them in. We might see Lee say, all right, tire savings gone out the window. It's time to hammer down a little bit. Yeah, Chad Ross still falling back, going back and forth with Jay Dargard, I believe, right now for fourth. A good gaggle of trucks right there. Number 57, Dargard, he's trying to run that inside line. Chad Ross with a little bit of help from, I believe, TJ O'Haron, trying to get that outside working. Good side-by-side actions. 38, Chad Ross, run that outside line. Not sure if that's a preferred line for him, or trying to stay away from dropping down low on Dargard. But Dargard is out of position, but as they go side-by-side, Ross gets to the wall a little bit. That back right at 38 machine. That truck's tightening up, just like we talked about earlier in the broadcast. The guys are way, way off pace from what they started at. Over a second and a half at this point. Their best lap times is their current lap time. Ross having a bit of a rough go as his truck's really tightening up. Got a couple guys bringing in the pit road. We got Joseph Burgess, William Lothar are going to be bringing it in. Maybe trying to undercut the field, get some fresh tires in there. Right now, it's still Matthew Lee making his way around lap traffic, using their draft advantage. We got Chad Ross coming into pit lane, as well as Peyton Howell, William Lothar, and Cale Seaman. So a lot of trucks bringing in already. They've decided 33 laps in, tire wear is just too darn bad. They've got to do something different. They've got to do it rapidly. Lee, though, still with a 0.6-second gap over second place, Derek Fulton. I'm not sure how long he's going to stay out for and try and click off some laps and maybe get a little bit of pace. Right as we say that, we got Fulton and Lee are both going to bring it in. Let's look at these pit deltas to see how long people... Oh, Fulton getting a little bit loose as he tries to avoid running over, I believe that's Matthew Lee right in front of him. So I'm going to be curious to see how long these pit stops are from our drivers. I believe everybody's going to be taking 4 tires full of fuel. So let's look at these pit times. We've got Matthew Lee with a 15-second pit stop, Stephen Page 15 seconds. So it looks like for the most part, everybody's getting in and out with about 15 to high 14s. So I believe when they come around, it's going to be Matthew Lee still out front. Jay Dargard, Kenneth McCullough Jr. is in the pit right now. Yeah, Matthew Lee's going to be scored up front again, followed by Derek Fulton. So not a lot has changed. The only bad news is for the competitors not in first is Mr. Lee's out there with a fresh set of tires. He's shown he can run the pace with good tires, so he can put down some blistering now with, I think, freshies. So right now we've got Lee, we've got Fulton, Ross, Howell, and Page running out front. So that's about a 30-lap window we expect to see trucks starting to come in. We saw a couple of the guys that were a little bit off pace. They tried to go for the undercut around lap 31 or 32, but for the most part, most of the field we saw coming in between that 32 and 34 window. So not sure if they'll have the fuel amounts or run all the way to the end, or if we're going to see them box maybe around lap 70 tonight. So always interesting to see how different strategies play out. Man, right now Lee's got a huge lead, over 1.3 seconds on Derek Fulton. Fulton and Lee within 300ths of each other as far as the pit cycle goes. They're getting in and out. Their pickers did a fantastic job. So interesting to see what's going to happen here. You've got Lee, Fulton, and Ross kind of strung out there at the top three. Not sure if either of these guys are going to communicate and say, hey man, I'll check up a little bit. We'll get on my rear bumper. Let's get a draft going so we can catch this guy. Or if it's the last man for himself. I believe got a new fastest lap for TJ O'Haron. He's put down a 30.58 that last go around after he came out. That might be the fastest of the race so far. So O'Haron putting down a little bit of lap times, making something happen. Let's see if we can check him out. So O'Haron getting a heck of a draft from Jay Darger, probably helping him out with that blistering lap time. But still lifting a little bit early. He's not ripping it all the way, trying to burn up his tires this early on the run. So he used what he had to get around Darger, but for the most part, he's going to be just trying to get another draft car. I believe it's Howell right in front of him. He's going to try and link up with and use his draft. We're watching Chad Ross in 38 machine. He is 5.4 seconds back from current leader Matthew Lee, and a little bit shy of 4 seconds for Derek Fulton. So Ross going to be kind of running by himself for a little bit. Doesn't really have much of a draft partner in front or behind. Ross, his last lap by was at 31.47 compared to Fulton's at 31.25. So Ross might be playing a long game here. He might be fuel saving. He might be tire saving. Even though there's not really anybody worth risking to try and battle it out here and push as hard as you can. So he might be on a little bit different strategy, I think. Watching Joseph Burgess in the 19 machine. He's got a little battle going on for 9th with Matthew Curry in the 54. Curry trying to feel him out, see what he can get away with without pushing too hard and burn up your tires. As a racer, it's so frustrating to have a guy right in front of you. You know you have the pace, and then you have to force yourself to back down a little bit. You don't want to kill tires too early on into it. Matthew Curry kind of taking a look on the inside. Not sure if he's willing to go for it just quite yet, or if he's happy falling in behind Joseph Burgess. Both drivers doing a good job keeping it clean. Now, Curry is running that low line pretty hard. Not sure if that's going to really affect his tires as the run progresses or not, but looks like Curry's going to go for the pass right here. So far makes it stick, but will Burgess have the pace on the outside? No, Curry moves up. Gives him a little bit of a friendly block and then drops back down low. Kills the drive of Burgess just a little bit. Pretty good battle for 9th here. We're going to watch Peyton Howell, Jose Medina, and Matthew... Jay Darger, Peyton Howell, and Jose Medina. That's a three-way battle for 6th going on right now. Peyton Howell, he's up 11 spots before he originally started, so Howell's having a pretty good run so far tonight. He had a great pit window. He was almost 3/10 faster than most of the field when he came in. And Jay Darger had the fastest pit time at 14.2. So both of these guys hit their marks absolutely dead on, able to make it stick. Right now, though, it is still the Matthew Lee show. Lee up front with a commanding gap. He's, well, it's only about a second gap right now, but Lee at one point was over 4 or 5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. So Lee's got Derek Fulton about a second behind him, but third place almost 7 seconds behind. So these guys are absolutely hammering down. Only about 13 laps in this set of tires. So you can see the truck starting to tighten up in the next 5 to 10 laps. You can see lap times drastically falling off. Derek Fulton, he can see Matthew Lee just in front of him. He's got the carrot to chase. Number 7 truck looking absolutely spectacular tonight. Fulton driving extremely well, starting to chip away at that gap. It's down to 0.8 seconds so far between Fulton and Lee, currently up first. I believe Fulton is in range of the draft as well, so he might pick up a little bit of clean air from Lee in front of him, pushing it out of the way. But Lee's going to have the help of lap traffic as well with his draft, so Fulton's going to have to get up there as quick as he can, try and stay in the tow, see if that helps him out a little bit. All these racers keeping it extremely clean so far. Very impressive that the guys are not having any yellow flags, no big problems so far, so really, really good to see. But Lee's going to have a draft partner ahead of him as he catches lap traffic. Fulton's starting to reel him in with 0.75 off the pace. Take a ride along with Matthew Lee. He's getting a little bit of draft help from, I believe that's James Kaufman in front of him, still a lap ahead. So Kaufman running really good tonight, but that's an interesting approach I haven't seen. Lee hard on the brake to try and get that truck to rotate. Can't say I've really seen that one that much. Looks like Lee is going to edge out Kaufman, put him a lap down. But that does take away Lee's draft friend right there. So Lee's going to lose the draft of lap traffic, and it's going to put Fulton right behind lap traffic as well. So Fulton's going to try and get the draft from him, leapfrog back up to Lee. The hard part for being lap traffic right now is you've got a tight truck as well. You can't really run that alternate high line as much as you want to without darn near bringing the truck to a stop. So it's a really tough place to be in. So you don't want to be too high to get out of the way and then kind of bump into the wall. You don't want to be too low and then accidentally ruin your friend's race either. So it's kind of a tough spot to be in. So well done to Kaufman for playing it clean and kind of staying out of the way and doing it right, moving where he can. We are a little bit past the halfway mark. They're about 20 seconds on their lap of tires so far. You're going to see trucks start slowing down. They're about a little over a second off their best pace. And more lap traffic for Matthew Lee as he reels in. I believe that's Jeffrey Radke, the 51 machine. Taking you on board with Lee as he rides up to Radke. Going to use that draft as best of his ability. Radke gives him a wave out the window and says, "Come on by, leader. I'm not here to ruin your race." So listen to this, though. So Lee's still hard on the gas that go around, but last time we were on board with Lee, he was ridiculously hard on the brakes in 3 and 4. I've never seen that before. I'm not sure if that was a little bit heavy-handed approach to the brakes, or maybe it's a strategy I've never seen to rotate the truck, but he was hard on the brakes that one go around. Fulton. He's 0.42 back. He's still in the range of Lee's draft. Doing his best to reel in Matthew Lee is the, I'm assuming they're going to box around lap 66, 68, as we're going to see our next cycle of green flag stops, and then guys try and ride out to the end. From my understanding, I believe they've got one more tire set left. Not sure if that's the case or if they used their one tire set for the night. I'm assuming they've got one more, judging by how everybody came in so early on. But Fulton is starting to reel in Lee. They're 0.2 between them and closing fast. Such a tough spot to be in for Fulton right now. He's got the pace to reel into him, but is it worth killing tires to do it? You can hear right there how hard off the gas Lee is going into 3 and 4. Just absolutely brings that truck to a darn near massive slowdown going through that corner. Allows Fulton to kind of reel him in a little bit, but is Lee saving more tires than Fulton? Or is he using up a little bit more rubber, running that faster pace for the most part? But Fulton all over the rear of Matthew Lee right now. He's got the draft. He wants to make it happen. He wants to get his sponsorship, his sponsors up front and get a little bit more views on him. So the FEG PC truck's looking really, really good. That Silverado tonight. Oh man, just all over Lee right now. And these guys are pushing hard. Lee and Fulton have a 6-second gap to third place Stephen Page. So they are all off by themselves right now. Going to be interesting to see if Fulton's happy just sticking here. I don't think he's going to be. I think in the next couple laps you're going to see a move from Fulton. But for right now, he's kind of eyeing Lee out, seeing where Lee's slowing up, kind of judging how good his tires are before he sends it in there one good time. About 2 truck leaks between them. You can see a little bit of cat and mouse here. Neither driver's sure how much tire the other guys has underneath them. We do see some pit cycles starting to open as TJ O'Haron comes in. O'Haron, I believe, was running 5th or 6th, 4th when he came in. So O'Haron's going to try a little bit of an undercut. He's going to try and do the last about 48 laps on a stint, I believe. I think these guys can do it. I believe Lee and Fulton can stay out as long as they possibly can. They're running mid to high 32 lap times compared to their session best of high 30.7, 30.8. So over a second and a half off the pace as tire wear came into play, and Matthew Lee starting to pick it up a little bit. He's got a 4/10 gap over Derek Fulton. And Lee's starting to get a little bit of draft help again from lap cars in front of him. We're on lap 63. We're expecting these guys to pit around the lap 66 to 70 mark is what our unofficial prediction is. Looks like Fulton's kind of slowing way off the pace. His tires may be done. Matthew Lee, he put it on a 32.49 last time around. Fulton puts it on a 32.61, so a little over a full 10th separate him, but Lee's also got that draft help right in front of him. I believe that's Eric Parks on the number 4 machine. So that's going to help out Lee and Fulton just a little bit. As Lee's starting to edge up into lap traffic. I think these guys are going to yield to him, try and stay out of the way the best they can. But we talked about earlier, these guys are going to try and run the high line, stay out of the way of the leaders. But it's really, really tough to do when you've got a tight truck that's only getting progressively worse. Then you go in a little bit hotter than you plan to because the lead pack's around and you see them going, well, they're coming in that fast. Surely I can as well. And the next thing you know, you tag the wall. So it looks like that's Parks currently between Lee and Fulton. So to give you an idea of how fast Lee and Fulton are actually going, he's actually lapped all the way up to 12th place right now. And I believe he's got Radke right in front of him. See if we can get eyes on that camera, that truck right in front of Mr. Lee. So yeah, that is the 51 of Jeffrey Radke. Radke's going to bring it in, but that means the leaders have currently lapped all the way up to, I believe, 10th place. So some of these guys coming into the pits, we got James Coffin, Stephen Page, Jeffrey Radke, Eric Parks, all bringing it in for possibly their final pit stop of the night. Not sure how much longer Lee and Fulton are going to hang it out there and see how long they can get by with these tires. They might try and squeeze by 1 or 2 more laps. It's really hard to judge with their entries here into 4. I believe Lee's bringing it in right now. He is. And then Fulton's going to follow. So let's see, next car back is Jay Dargert. He's in 3rd place. He was about... Dargart's coming in too, so it looks like the whole field's going to box this lap. Stephen Page looks like he's unlapped himself. He pitted lap 65. He's going to be in 7th place that time around. Once live timing is scored, these different pit strategies might really shake things up here tonight. Matthew Lee with a 14.6 second pit stop. I think Derek Fulton had problems. He's a little bit slower out with a 14.85. Fulton spent 8 seconds longer in pit lane than Matthew Lee did, which is massive. So not sure if Fulton might have missed a pit box there or what happened, but man, 8 seconds is a ton here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So right now the running order is going to be Matthew Lee up front. You've got Stephen Page has clawed his way back up to 2nd, followed by Derek Fulton in 3rd. So with 31 laps remaining, it's still looking like the Matthew Lee show, but anything can change. Let's look at Stephen Page. His last pit cycle was 65, so only a couple lap older tires than Lee and Fulton. Able to get himself back on that lead lap. Taking it back to Lee, he's behind the number 51 of Jeffrey Radke. Once more, Radke just always right there with the leader if he means to or not. Radke came in on lap 65 compared to Lee's 67, so that allowed him to get his lap back, but not sure for how much longer. I guess the important thing for him to remember is if he does get past, that does put him in lucky dog contention, so he'll be the lead car 1 lap down. My understanding, it does it by track standing, not overall position. So if you're right behind the leader in this final run, especially as a caution comes out, as people get a little bit more antsy, it puts you in a good place to at least be in contention for a top 10 as we come around. But Radke currently sitting in 13th place. He's doing his best to stay that lap ahead if he can handle or make it happen. Overall, I can't stress this enough, the talent of racers here tonight. Everybody keeping it extremely clean. No aggressive passing anywhere on the racetrack from at the very beginning where you see sometimes problems will manifest themselves as guys get a little bit of impatient. Even at the end of these longer runs, guys running 35 laps or so on a set of tires, and they're absolutely cooked coming in to pit road. So nobody's getting tight, doing anything, big mistakes there either. So excellent racing all the way around. Right now, Matthew Lee with a 7-second gap between himself and Derek Fulton. So 7.8 seconds between Lee in first, Fulton in second. Stephen Page, he's 9 seconds back in third. So Lee is absolutely checked out so far this race. He's done everything right. Lee's going to watch these lap traffic guys in front of him battling as hard as they can. He doesn't want any part of it. The worst thing he wants right now is to try and get himself involved with a race that's not his. He does not want to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Lee just clicking off laps here. Got another good battle shaping up for, I believe that's 6th place. We've got TJ O'Haron and Jay Daggert. Both these guys have been running great all night. O'Haron all over the rear bumper of Daggert trying to make something happen. I believe we've got Buddy Pitts. He had problems in the pits. He's there for 30 seconds. We got William Lowther. He's in there for 50 seconds. So some of the guys that came in, fixed a little bit of fender bender repair, try and get some duct tape on the machines and fix that aero. 26 laps to go, though. It is looking like the Matthew Lee show. Lee in that really good-looking 04 machine. He's still falling behind, I believe it's Jeffrey Radke and Joseph Burgess. They're battling for a position. So, I mean, as much as it is a gentleman's agreement to get out of the way for the lead pack when you can, if you're in your own race battling for a position, you've got bigger things going on. Every point matters as these guys are doing segment 2 at the FEG PC Racing League. None of these guys willing to yield if they can help it. They want every little point they can possibly muster. As we see Matthew Lee, he knows he's got a 6.5 second gap on 2nd place, so he seems pretty content just following the crowd right now. Doesn't want to stick his nose anywhere it doesn't belong, and doesn't want to mess up that such clean 04 race truck. Right behind the 04, we've got, looks like Radke in the 51 machine. Trying to stick his nose back up there. We had William Lothar go off track. William Lothar running in 19th place right now. It avoids having the yellow called, so that's good news for Matthew Lee, still with over a 6 second gap as he's slowly working his way through traffic. Now Lee did slow himself down a little bit. He's playing it patient with these these 4 or 5 cars that are lapped down, but his one saving grace is Derek Fulton's also got to get through these guys if he wants a shot at the lead. So the only, I guess the good news for Fulton is the lap traffic's more aware that, hey, the lead pack's starting to come around already, but that's a lot of trucks to try and work your way through as we see Lee dipping and diving, getting through the number 51 machine of Radke once more. Got 2 51 machines out there. Or is that a... We got to talk to these drivers following the race. We don't see that every day, folks. So Matthew Curry in the 54 machine that shows us 51, and then Jeffrey Radke in the 51 machine that actually reads 50. See guys, it's not all easy talking, making noises with your mouth up here in the broadcasting booth. You have to figure out who is who on these racetracks sometimes, especially as you build a repertoire with all the drivers. We try and hop in their team channels before a race and ask them how things are going and try and get a feel for all the guys as well, because the more we know about our racers in any league, especially here at FEG PC, the easier it is to announce and make it a little bit more colorful for the guys, because Everybody wants to hear their name. They want to hear their sponsors. So the more I get to talk to different races, probably the better it is for everybody. So very nice to see everybody so welcoming here. I greatly appreciate it. And it's been a really good group of guys to call their races so far. Everybody runs really clean. Everybody's really friendly. And everybody wants a shot at that $1,000 grand prize at the end of the segment. So that's going to be a little bit of enticing for the guys to stay out there and keep having great weekends. Taking a look at live time and see if we've got anything shaping up here. Got Peyton Howe currently running 5th place. He's up 13 spots from where he originally started. Behind him, we've got Jay Daggert and the 57 machine running 6th, and then Jose Medina, he's running 7th, the 24 machine. And then we've got Mr. Derek Fulton kind of running all by himself. He has chipped away at that gap a substantial bit. He's dropped almost 3 or 4 seconds. He's about 5.5 down from Matthew Lee right now, but with 17 to go, not sure if that's going to be anything he can do to try and get up there, or if he's going to be happy with a 2nd place points tonight. And the first of 2 races here tonight. So again, it is a double header. We've got this round here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with 100 laps. Then we've got Daytona. Non-stop, 4-wide action, super speedway shenanigans, sure to be a spectacular time. And again, for the second round, the guys have 1 fast repair, so it's one of 3 tracks that the FEG PC guys run fast repairs on. So you might see a little bit more bar banging, door action, a little bit more shenanigans on that race when racers know they've got 1 in reserve. Yeah, Jay Daggert just made a pass on Chad Ross for 5th. Peyton Howell also gets around Chad Ross. So Howell, he's up 14 spots in 4th place. Daggert's in 5th. He's up 1 spot. But Chad Ross having a couple problems. He's getting shuffled in the back pretty quickly as Jose Medina also comes around. Now Ross is on about 4 laps older set of tires than those 3 drivers just mentioned. Not sure that's playing into effect as his truck's tightened up really bad, or if these guys are starting to carry a pretty spectacular pace. Jay Daggert, though, he's making moves. He gets around Peyton Howell around the inside, going into 4, makes it stick. Number 57 Marines, he's running that Memorial Day special. And while we have a moment, a major thanks to all our servicemen and women, those that have paid the absolute ultimate sacrifice that allows us to have fun playing online video racing sims with our friends. We couldn't do it without those guys, and we think of them especially much this time of year, this date of the year, but all through the year. I've got friends that were affected, and they've got friends that have lost their lives. And so just think of those guys. I'm very thankful to all the veterans out there. So again, big thank you to those guys that allow us to do this on our weekdays, safe at home every week. So thank you guys. So Peyton Howell in the 71 machine kind of getting edged back. He's watching Jay Daggert kind of battling in front of him, I believe, with lap traffic. So some of these guys kind of hoping for a mistake with 12 laps to go, not looking optimistic. We still got a 5-second gap between Lee and Fulton up front. Behind Fulton, we got Stephen Page, the number 1 machine. He's in 3rd place. He is, let's go look at Mr. Page. Page is 11 seconds off of 2nd place. He is 18 seconds off of 1st place. He does have about a 4-second gap to Jay Daggert, currently running 4th, so he might be able to hold on to that bad boy with 11 to go. It's really good, clean racing. Matthew Lee's kind of wiggled his way around all the lap traffic in the foreseeable future. He's lapped all the way up to 10th place so far. So only 9 trucks currently on the lead lap here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 10 laps to go, nothing but lap traffic in front of Lee and a 6.5 second gap to second. So Lee looking spectacular. We did see Chad Ross come on the pit lane. Not sure if he's on a different cycle as the rest of the guys, or if he's just tired of driving on shagged out tires, or maybe he's really banging on a yellow and he's going to be the only guy out there with fresh tires. Not sure what the game plan is from Ross. Matthew Lee, I believe that might be Cole in front of him. Not 100% sure who that is right in front of Mr. Matthew Lee. So Lee's also getting a little bit of a draft. It's going to help out his lap times here as those tires fall off. He was about 0.3 faster than Mr. Derek Fulton running in second. Ooh, I believe that was, I'm not quite sure who that was. Got so tight going to the wall. We've got a crash. Joshua Doobie takes a ride. Josh running 18th place kind of had an incident. That might have been him that tagged the wall there and live time and called it as a crash. But no yellow coming out, so looking really good for Mr. Lee to bring it home. He's got a 7-second gap on second place. He's got a 20-second gap to third place. So an absolute dominant performance here tonight. 7 laps to go. Lee just hoping for no cautions at this point. 6 laps to go. He's clicking them off. We'll try and get that instant replay following the race, see if we can see what happened to Joshua with that incident. But man, Lee, the man of the hour, just clicking off laps, making it happen. With 5 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good clean racing all the way through. Still a decent battle going on with Jay Daggert, Jose Medina, Peyton Howe all separated by a couple seconds here. That's probably our tightest battle going on right now, I do believe. And then Jose Medina, Peyton Howe separated by 3/10. That's the battle you're seeing for 5th place. Howell up 12 spots. He wants to try and get Jose back down at the line. Howell going to drive it down in low. Not sure if he can make it stick with those older tires. His truck's tightened up. He goes a little bit high. Starts to squeeze Medina. Howell's going to try and make something happen here going into 1 and 2. Not sure if he has the tires to make it happen. He drops down low. Going to try and get those 2 left wheels as close to the apron as he can to bring that car around, but he does make it stick. He gets in front of Medina. So he takes up the spot for 5th place. He's up 13 spots. That's going to help out his points a little bit more. Good pass going all the way around. We've got a pass for 3rd place right there. Shows Jay Darker got around Stephen Page for 3rd place, so Darker's going to squeeze it out there, get a little bit more time. He is 16 seconds down from 2nd place, so he'll be extremely happy if he can bring home a 3rd tonight, save a little bit of points, keep him in that really strong championship as the things go on. But with 2 laps to go, it is the Matthew Lee show right now. White flag is out. Matthew Lee with a textbook dominating performance here tonight, Charlotte. He's kept that 04 truck up front the majority of the race. It's looking fantastically clean. He's riding great.
A couple of the cars having to come in for fuel in those last couple laps as well. We see all James Kaufman coming in, Stephen Page coming in, but put your hands together for tonight's winner, Matthew Lee. Dominated performance, 7-second gap between first place Matthew Lee and second place Derek Fulton. We've got Jay Dagger going to bring it home in third. So great driving tonight from all of our guys. Spectacular, clean racing from start to finish. You absolutely love to see it, especially from a racer or a commentator's point of view. It's good, clean racing. We're going to watch the celebrations and the fireworks here as Lee brings it in. Lee's going to smoke him if he got him. And the 04 in a well-deserved victory burnout is going to absolutely light him up. Well done to Matthew Lee for a spectacular performance tonight. That 04 machine looking spectacular. All right, we're going to see if we can get Jay Dargert and Derek Fulton into the waiting room. Not sure I'm seeing those guys. I see Dargert on Discord, and then I don't see Derek Fulton yet. All right, let's get Matthew Lee, tonight's winner in the broadcast booth. Absolute dominant performance. Lee, do you read me, buddy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Lee, that was a spectacular run, a huge gap between yourself and Derek Fulton. What was the tire strategy going in tonight? Did you have one, or are you just happy it shook out like it did?
It really depended on how far I could stretch that first run of fuel. I mean, if we could get to a two-stop race and get spread out like that, I was definitely going to take tires both times with only having the two sets in the pits. So it was really just how far we could stretch fuel each of those runs.
Now, Lee, I rode the Coca-Cola 600 the other day, and I know as that the runs kind of progress, how tight and unbearable these machines can get. I mean, was it any fun to drive at the end of those 34, 35 lap stints, or was it just doing your best to get around without hitting that outside wall?
Honestly, never even really had to push it at all because, like, we were kind of each run going to be a lap or two short per run on fuel, so really just save fuel the entire run. And once I come out of the pits, like, I think I was like 8 seconds in front of Derek after he run out of fuel there. Really just took my time, especially the lap cars and stuff. Didn't want to do anything that cost me the win.
Well, good, smart racing all the way, Lee. I'm going to let you go because I know you're trying to get the hauler ready for Daytona. But before we let you go, anybody you want to thank before you head out?
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys over at CGE, McConey Setup Shop, GTR Simulators, Martin Sports, and Jeff for putting this on, you for the broadcast.
Oh, very welcome, Lee. We'll see you in about a few minutes here for Daytona, and congratulations on a well-deserved win tonight.
Okay, also got a shout out to Shannon Doshine. Sorry.
No worries, Lee. We'll see you soon, sir. All right, that wraps up our coverage for round one of the FEG PC doubleheader. We'll be back after a short break where we've got Daytona coming up. It's going to be a spectacular race around the Florida Super Speedway. Looking forward to seeing it. I'm James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. We'll see you right after a short break. ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Round 2 of tonight's FEG PC Truck Series doubleheader. You saw Charlotte Motor Speedway. Great racing from start to finish. Now it's time for Daytona, my friends. Wide open, going as fast as you can. Should be some spectacular racing tonight as we're currently watching single truck qualifying. We're watching TJ O'Haron in the number 9 machine. He's running great. A lot of good, clean racers out here tonight. So expecting more of the same. It's going to be really good. I mean, great racing from start to finish is what we expected. TJ O'Haron puts it on top of provincial pole with a 52.47, followed by Buddy Pitts. William Lothar kind of sticking his nose up there. Second place with a 52.6 in qualifying. See if we can get who we can get here. On board with James Coffin, the number 25 machine. So the one difference between this track and almost every other track that the FEG PC guys run on this series, they do get one single fast repair at their disposal. So these guys have one and only one fast repair. So if they have a big crash early on in the race, they can come in, take that fast repair, get back out there, try and stay in the money. This is race 2 of segment 2 of the FEG PC Truck Series with the grand prize of $1,000. That's 1 and 3 zeros behind it. American US dollars for the overall winner. They're awarding $250 for whoever gets second, an additional $250 for whoever gets third, and $250 to a random driver in the league at the end of this segment too. So a lot of money up for grabs, a lot of clean racing. It's very common to see green flag runs all the way through. Not sure if we're going to see that at Daytona International, though, as guys are willing to dice it up and try and make something happen a little bit more here. You're going to see a little bit more 2 and 3 wide. You see Matthew Lee coming in for his hot lap. Lee ducks down low in qualifying, clicks off a 52.32, puts him on top of a provisional pole. So we've got about 8 trucks that have put down qualifying times so far out of the, I believe it's about a 20 truck field is what I'm seeing. So a lot of really, really fast guys. See Joseph Burgess, he's coming out of pit lane. He's going to try and put down a time. We did have the opportunity to talk to Mr. Dagger lead into this race. Jay Dagger, he's going to be running the number 57 car. A little bit of paraphrasing here, but he's going to do his best to run down Matthew Lee this go around. Again, heavily paraphrasing from the language Mr. Darger used. You got to love him, but he said Lee just ran too good that last race for him to do something. So we're going to see if Haggard can stay in it to win it here tonight. He doesn't want third. He doesn't want second. He definitely wants that top spot if he can get it. Daytona, a lot of things can happen here as things get kind of shaken up. So Burgess going to come around. I don't think he actually put down a qualifying time. He did not, as we get ready to set the grid here for Daytona International Speedway. We're going to see our grid here as be Matthew Lee out front, followed by Peyton Howell, Blaine Edwards in third, Michael J. Johnson starting fourth, TJ O'Haron in fifth, William Lothar in sixth, Buddy Pitts will be starting seventh tonight, followed by James Kaufman in eighth, Derek Fulton in ninth. We've got Donald Stewart in 10th, Chad Ross in 11th, and then Eric Parks will bring home our top 12. Starting in 13th, we've got Jeffrey Radke, followed by 14th, Kenny McCullough. Stephen Page will be starting 15th tonight, Jose Medina in 16th, Jay Daggert in 17th, Joshua Doobie in 18th, and then Matthew Curry 19th, followed by our last guy. It's going to be Joseph Burgess starting in 20th. Now, interesting fact, we did talk briefly to Joshua Doobie. We saw him talking in the holler. Had wheel problems, came disconnected from his truck midway through that race last go-around at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Almost brought out the yellow flag, so major ups for Doobie, able to kind of steer that truck around with just throttle and brakes here and keep it clean. Yeah, really hoping for a caution-free night tonight. Although the drivers do have that single fast repair at their disposal, as an announcer, as a racer, we love to see clean green flag runs through and through. So if these guys can make that happen here at Daytona International, we will be ecstatic for everybody. But we're getting ready to set the grid here. Trucks are on pit road getting warmed up. Not sure what the predictions are going to be tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if we're expecting. I'm expecting and hoping for a good, strong, caution-free race here at Daytona. The problem with Daytona is you get a little bit aggressive, especially with that one fast repair in your back pocket. 60 laps, not a huge window to play with here. So it's going to be interesting to see how things really shape up. I'm looking forward to see how Peyton Howell, he started up front. We got Matthew Lee, Michael Johnson, William Lothar, all really strong racers. A lot of these guys ran really well at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a mile and a half or so. It's a cookie cutter. It's not wide open super speedway. It's but definitely by no means a short track. So going to be a little bit more strategy induced here, I believe, at Daytona International. You're going to have to find guys you can work with, especially if you try and get that outside line formed up. But they're going to get ready as they stack up the field. It's going to be Peyton Howell, that 71 machine, starting up front. Howell, a pretty consistent finisher, but, you got to keep an eye out for Matthew Lee in the 4 machine. He's been pretty dominant. After talking to other racers in the paddock, they kind of sigh and laugh and go, I got to beat Lee this week. But pace car is in. All eyes on Matthew Lee. Green flag is out. Lee gets a little bit of that rear end stepping on that 04 machine, but he gets a good strong launch. 71 of Peyton Howell. Lags a little bit behind, it looks like, but here we go. 60 laps, Daytona International Speedway. One fast repair at their disposal. Not sure if we're going to see multiple lines forming up or not. We got the 39 machine, Michael Johnson, trying to get the high line working. He's accompanied by William Lothar, but trucks, these guys are going to try and drop in as quick as they can and get some aero help. But for the most part, you see that one strong single line forming. Matthew Lee leading the charge. Lee's had to pace multiple tracks, but as a draft package track for sure, there's only so much wide open you can do and count on your abilities. You got to work with other drivers, get some bump drafts forming, and make some friends early on, and then forget about them with 2 laps to go. You guys will be happy to click off a few laps for a little bit, kind of figure out where they're at. And let the cards fall where they may. 71 of Peyton Howell, he's going to be pushing Matthew Lee. Not a lot of things you can do this early on. We see 2 McConey setup shots. That's Peyton Howell, Blaine Edwards. They're a second and third right now. I believe that's a 26, Buddy Pitts. He gets pushed up outside the line. No one's willing to make friends and let him back in right now, so Buddy Pitts kind of getting left high and dry right here. And you can see just how important that draft is. Buddy Pitts back to his spots, but able to get back in the line for quite a while. But right now we've got Matthew Lee getting chased all over by Peyton Howell. He's giving him a pretty good push every now and then. Howell and Edwards, I'm assuming blindly here, without talking to drivers, I'm assuming they're teammates. So that's going to help these guys out a lot as runs progress and you start working with the path part. You find somebody on these super speedways.
I believe that's still Buddy Pitts on the outside, trying to get a little help from maybe TJ O'Haron, maybe Donald Stewart, hard to tell. Trying to get that second line working. That's a beautiful Remington paint scheme on the machine. Getting good runs, but really nowhere to take it. So that is the 78 of Donald Stewart, giving a good strong push to Buddy Pitts, trying to get that outside line working, but there's not enough commitment from anyone else out here out in the field. Makes it tough. Might see that second line starting to form up. Right now it's still Lee, Howell, Edwards, your top three running nose to tail on that bottom group. On Daytona International Speedway, Talladega, any of those really big tracks, you've got to have a pretty big, strong outer line forming, and they've got to stay nose to tail the absolute entire time. So really good, clean racing. I'm always impressed by the FEG PC guys keeping it clean all the way through. Really good. Starting to get that outside line working. A beautiful camera angle along the apron. Shows just how fast these trucks are making their way around. Starting to shuffle up a little bit. That outside line's kind of hinting to get something going. Buddy Pitts is just refusing to drop low. He knows he can make it work if he gets the commitment with him. Right as we say that, Pitts takes a look down inside of the 38. Excuse me, the 39 of Michael Johnson. Kind of clears himself. Didn't quite have the room. Bails out of it. But here we go. The outside line is forming. Not quite as tight as they need to be to get a good, strong drive up to the front, but Buddy's getting a good push. Peyton and Blayton all see it coming, but not like you may see some of those top three guys run high if they can. Maybe slow that momentum down just a little bit, but Blayton Edwards running fantastic so far. Looks like that second line's kind of petered out just a little bit. Buddy's doing his best to get a side trap as well as he can. Man, you know, that's frustrating as a driver. Trying to get that high side working, you can't quite get the commitment from other drivers. We see Buddy, he still believes in the dream. But just not able to make that line form up. So it's still Lee, Howell, Edwards up front. Buddy's starting to get a run though. He might have a little bit of help finally coming, but he's absolutely utilizing that side draft as hard as he possibly can. Trying to get on the door of Blayton Edwards, take a little bit of the air off of it. At least hold Edwards back just a little bit so Buddy can get a better run. These guys running very, very good, nose to tail, too wide, giving each other plenty of room when they can. Still utilizing the side draft, but man, poor Buddy just not quite getting the support that he really wants back there. Trying to get a big push from the machine behind him. It shows his 58. Not sure why that driver's timing is not reflected properly. I think that's Kenneth McCullough Jr. possibly. That's 03, the Kenny down low, so not sure who 58 is. Maybe Joshua Doobie. But a different race, but I believe he's a newcomer to the FEG PC Racing League, so He might not quite have his numbers sorted out just quite yet, so that's okay. No EOLs for that one. And Doobie, especially as I believe a newer driver to the league, might not have the experience running with these guys week in and week out to know how hard he can bump draft somebody comfortably. But you see 71, Peyton Howell, he drops high to the that high line, gets in front of Buddy, slows him down a little bit and gets a little bit of a push. Buddy all over the rear bumper of Howell though, trying to push their way up to the front, but Matthew Lee still riding that low line with the number 17 machine, Bladen Edwards. So now they're starting to stack up, get 2x2. The outside line's got a little bit of support. Not sure if Howell's got a game plan to slow down that pack, but no, Buddy goes in the wall, swings back low. I believe that's in front of, I'm not quite sure, that might have been Doobie he pulls out in front of. 26 gets low, he spins, pushes William Lothar off the track. So William Lothar gets thrown into pit lane. I believe the 26 Buddy might have gotten a little bit loose and ran into him, or maybe cleared himself down low. So Lothar not going to be happy about that one as he gets forced into pit lane at all of 180 miles an hour. So Lee's still our leader. He's doing great for the 71 of Peyton Howell. Now he's on the outside line. He's swapped with his teammate Bladen Edwards in the 72X. So I think we're going to see Peyton Howell try and drop down low as soon as he can. Maybe communicate with his teammates and try and get a little breather set back in to let him back in the lineup. You see Howell using that side draft. Gets a pretty good run on Matthew Lee, but nowhere to take it with no draft support. As these guys are spreading out in the flying V, not doing much for Arrow's sake. Definitely not a lot of drafting you can do there when you're kind of next to each other's corner panels. But what it does allow is that field to stack up behind them. That outside line might get a little bit more support, and that could be Lee just trying to pack the field up just a little bit behind him to make things a little bit more exciting, so he has less racing to do up front. The 03 machine of Kenneth McCullough Jr. giving a shove to, I believe that was Howell again on that outside line. Yeah, all over the rear bumper of Howell. He pushes them up to second right now as they come around that time. Not sure if they're going to have the speed to get all the way to the front here. But man, that is proper drafting right there. 03 Kenneth McCullough all over the rear bumper of 71. See if we can get that view for you guys. Kenneth McCullough with a huge blink. McCullough, not a lot of window space there in the 03 machine. He can only see through the rear window of Peyton Howell as they go around the extremely high banks of Daytona International Speedway. Howell gets a little bit windy there as I believe the 72 Bladen Edwards kind of takes the air off of him. Buddy Pitts kind of does something aggressive there. He drops down too low. Gets a little bit low on the apron there. Might have a little bit of a scare. But 71 gets clear. Peyton Howell, he's your new race leader. He leaves Kenneth McCullough Jr. out to dry on the high line. Right now it's Howell and Edwards running our top three. Guys come screaming around. They're about 180 miles an hour as they come into that corner. A lot of these drivers, I think Matthew Lee, I see several drivers putting down 190 miles per hour as their fastest time, and then Joseph Burgess, I believe, has the fastest time, the fastest speed so far in draft speed of 193. So he's got something working good with the draft, so he's got something figured out. Right now, you expect these top three guys to go absolutely nose to tail. These guys have the skill, they have the experience to push hard without worrying about wrecking your friend. Lee all over that bumper of Peyton Howell. You got Bladen Edwards still following in tow. They're going to run single file, lap 15 around Daytona. This is the second race of the night with their doubleheader. I believe next week goes back to single races. But don't forget, you can join us tomorrow night for FEG PC's Dirt Series. It's a Dirt Oval Series, should be a bunch of fun. And then Wednesday, the FEG PC Cup Series will be kicking off. So 3 chances to get in on the action here at FEG PC. This is the start of segment 2. We've got new drivers joining in, trying to get that shot of $1,000 grand prize at the end of the segment 2 season. So good, clean racers. Some of the best in the business you'll see out here. As is shown by Matthew Lee, just aggressively pushing Howell down the back straight. You can see some of these guys kind of dip out of the toe just for a little bit, get some air on their front bumper, cool these trucks off, but then right back to single file action, pushing as hard as they possibly can, doing their best to get a little bit of space between them and the guys behind. It's only a 60-lap shootout tonight, so they're going to be doing their best to try and keep the trucks clean, get some good position for that last lap battle royale that will be coming. Current hard charger of the night definitely goes to Joshua Doobie. Doobie's up 13 positions into 12th place so far. So Doobie, again, I believe a newcomer to the series. He's taking notes from these faster guys out there. Currently sitting pretty good in 12th place. That's nothing to sneeze, excuse me, with 5th place up 13 spots. Nothing to sneeze at. Anytime you're with racers of this caliber, any chance you get to be in a top 5, a top 10 position is absolutely nothing to sneeze about. This isn't AI on your PlayStation you're playing with. These are real life guys from across the world, real man hours, doing their best to figure this out and drive as hard as they possibly can. So it's something you'll never experience anywhere else besides a real racetrack or an iRacing. So it's really fun to watch. It's really fun to broadcast and announce, and it's arguably doubly fun to be out there racing, let it all hang loose with your fellow competitors. We did see Lifetime and William Lopez get coming there for a 2-minute stop after getting punted off track early on in this race, so that's definitely not what we want to see. He is the lone car, not on the lead lap. He's down 14 spots. You know Lowe's going to be really now. I believe that's Lothar in the 47 speed. Also has the on the outside roll, so something he's gonna have to keep an eye on. A race control is gonna be watching as well. But Lothar, although he's a lap down, he's gonna duck in line and try and stay with his lead pack a little bit, hoping for a caution that can get him on that lucky dog. Right now, it is Peyton Howell leading the charge. His last lap was a 48.54. That is his best. He's also matched by Matthew Lee. All these guys clicking off their best laps last time around. That's lap 20 of the race. Nowhere else besides the super speedway these guys putting out personal best 20 laps into a run. So just spectacular racing. Really good bump routing we're seeing from Lee and Howell working in tandem. Edwards kind of content just to follow them there and see where the cars deal out. A lot of these guys you can see just trying to stay with the pack on this run around Daytona. They're not going to push too early. Nobody wants to kind of give up the cards they have in their pocket, but Lee is just aggressively pushing Howell all the way around. He wants to get this thing going. Wants to stretch this field out. Makes it a lot safer for him as the run develops. Let's check out this camera angle from Powell. Oh, wrong one. That is the rear bumper view from Peyton Howell. Gives you an idea of how aggressive Lee is all over the rear bumper of that number 71 machine. As The guys are going to bring it into pit lane. Lap 21, they're going to come in, fuel, tires, try and get back out there. Few cars did stay out. You got Derek Fulton, Chad Ross, Eric Parks, Jeffrey Radke, TJ O'Haron opt to stay out just for a little bit. We've got Jose Medina, Jay Daggert, Matthew Curry also staying out. Not sure if they're going to come in the next time around or try a slightly different pit strategy. You got Derek Fulton, now your race leader. He's chased by Chad Ross. They're going to go for the overcut, try and stay a little bit longer, I believe. We see Fulton's going to drop down into pit road. Ross is going to stay out. A lot of guys coming in here. Interesting pit strategies across the board, I think. So Fulton still shows as the race leader, but he's going to have faster trucks, I think, blaring by him here in a second. Yeah, there we go. We've got Matthew Lee and those gentlemen coming around. They're going to lead that pack. Most cars pitting on lap 21 or 22, and a couple solo drivers. Not pretty much everyone. Lap 21, 22 is how they're going to shake themselves up. So they've split the pack up a little bit. Lee's back out front. He got actually a slower pit time than Peyton Howe or Bladen Edwards. He's about anywhere from a tenth and a half to 2/10 slower on his pit stop. But he had a faster pit delta sometimes, so not quite sure how he managed that one. Wanted to talk to him after the race and see if we can learn something, but the field checks up just a little bit. I believe Lee might have had something going on. Edwards gets into the back of Howell. This is your top four pack right now. You've got Lee, Howell, Edwards, and Johnson on charge. Behind them, it is a 4-second gap to Doobie and the rest of the gents. So Doobie going to lead that charge. He's got Donald Stewart, Derek Fulton, Kent McCullough Jr. with him. So what you're going to need to see from these drivers right now is you're going to see this 4-car pack work single file as much as they can. Otherwise, they're going to keep losing time to that pack of Lee, Howell, Edwards, Johnson. They've got a 4.7-second gap, and it is rapidly climbing. Now, this second pack here does have more trucks, so they can run nose to tail. They can lead them, or excuse me, catch them again, but if they don't start working together with a quickness, that lead pack is going to have a huge advantage if they start to check out. These are 4 drivers we've seen comfortable running nose to tail. So if these guys can stay nose to tail the entire track, at least get a few laps, you can see that angry swarm of trucks behind them. So curious to see what the driver radio is right now. We believe Howell and Edwards are on a team together, judging just from their numbers and paint schemes. So we've got Matthew Lee, one of the dominant guys out here for the FEG PC Racing League. And while we do have a little bit of time here, everybody's running single file, we're going to do a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Perfect timing. We are back live right as the first yellow flag of the night comes out. We've got Joshua Doobie having a crash. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there. Looks like Doobie gets a little bit of an aggressive bump draft behind him. I believe that was a 23 machine. We'll try and get a different angle next go around, but see if we can watch that again. But Doobie goes for the ride of his life, gets collected bad, and takes out at least a few trucks in the process. So we're gonna watch that again. Doobie gets a little bit low here. He's in the 58 machine. Gets a little bit loose all by his lonesome. So that's entirely on Doobie. 78. Let's see who that was. 78, just nowhere to go, and then carnage ensues behind them. You got guys dodging all over the place to try and avoid the carnage, but it looks like that's going to be Doobie heavily involved. And then the 78 of Donald Stewart, nowhere to go, also involved. He's going to bring it in. I believe that he's got pretty substantial damage there as well. So first caution of the night, lap 30. We'll call it about the halfway mark. So interesting to see. That's the first big crash we've really seen. Really not that big of a crash as far as Daytona goes. I believe we're going to have everybody. No, we've got Matthew Lee. He's coming down to pit road. Pretty much the entire field is going to follow the leader here, Matthew Lee. So we're going to keep an eye out on his pit time. See how quickly he can actually get in and out this go-around. I know he had a pretty slow pit delta last time compared to a couple of the other drivers, but still managed to come out front somehow. So Lee, a man on a mission, hits that braking mark spot on as he hits his pit stall. Comes in for fuel. I think just fuel with a 6.5 second pit time. So we've got Lee, Howell, Edwards, Johnson, all coming in for a 6-second pit stop. Looks like you got Fulton, Kenneth McCullough Jr., they're going about a 9 to a 10-second pit stop. And then a few guys like Radke taking 4 tires and fuel. Not sure how that strategy is going to pay out for the guys. If maybe tire wear is so insubstantial, they don't need it after that short run. They know if they top off now, they can go to the end. So very interesting to see how this is going to play out for the gentleman. So, man, good, clean racing. You hate to see it interrupted with a caution like that, but I'm sure some of these drivers need a little bit of a break from white-knuckling all the way around. So, as a reminder, at Daytona International Speedway, these drivers do get that one fast repair. They do that at Daytona. They do that at Talladega. And they do that at Bristol. And that is the only tracks they allocate any fast repairs at all. So I believe it's following the same rule set as Charlotte Motor Speedway, 65% fuel, 2 sets of tires. So these guys might save that second set of tire if there is another incident later on in the race. We're going to cross our fingers there's not. With about 28 laps to go after they cross the checkered, I think they can do it on one pit stop here. We saw the first pit stop under green conditions was around lap 21, so these guys may all have to come in one more go around. Not quite sure that's how it's going to shake out, if they're going to be able to go those extra 10 laps, or what the strategy is. Or if 21 laps is about as far as they can get here.
They're going to form them up 2 by 2. A long, long pacing lap here at Daytona International Speedway. Plenty of time to rethink your strategy, maybe communicate with other drivers, but the pace car is in. All eyes are on Matthew Lee as the green flag goes out. It's a pretty good launch. Immediately drops down low in front of the 71, Peyton Howell. He knows he's got teammates behind him in the 71 and 72. Those guys are working their absolute heart out to try and get up to that front spot and work together. And just like that, it's still Lee, Howell, Edwards, and Johnson, our top 4. They have not really moved positions a whole lot tonight. Pretty much currently running where they started as far as qualifying goes. Man, look at Howell all over the rear bumper of Lee. That is textbook bump drafting. Oh no! What is that? We got a 72, had a big blink. He gets net coated, goes up high, hits the wall, pushes somebody else off the track. So the 72X, he has major, major problems. That's Bladen Edwards. He was running second and third all night. And then a weird internet problem. Not sure what that was. I know James Kaufman got involved. Kaufman goes for a spin. Let's try and get a better angle of that. Kaufman's running high in the 25. He gets bumped by the 38 and just nowhere to go. So the 38 also involved. Didn't expect to see that one coming. That might have been... That was a weird crash, ladies and gentlemen. That started off with netcode with the 72X. And then, I'm not quite sure what happened at the back of the field there, but it was not pretty. That might have been... Yeah, I don't know how to call that. That was a very odd crash. It's not something I would expect to see here. The worst part for these drivers, we've heard it before, cautions breed cautions. So every time this field gets stacked up instead of strung out like it has been, you see a little bit more carnage starting to happen. So I know that's the last thing Peyton Howell wanted as well. He was working really hard with the 72X. He was 72 was pushing Lee all the way around the track. We know he could bump draft strong, so man, you hate to see that. That's really, really bad luck for Bladen Edwards. So if we were wondering if cars are going to be able to run till the end under caution earlier, it's looking better and better. You're going to see a few guys coming in on this cycle trying to get fuel splashed off. We see William Lothar, the lucky dog, in the number 47 machine. He's going to go zooming around the high side. He is back on the lead lap now. So Lothar, with a stroke of bad luck early on, has a chance to save some points here tonight as he gets back in the lead lap. Not going to lie to you viewers at home, I was expecting more cautions in our opening round at Charlotte here tonight than I was here at Daytona International Speedway. I was expecting a couple cautions tonight, but I was expecting them to happen, and when they did, they're going to be terrific. They're going to be just massive crashes you're going to see tonight, but so far, it's been a couple little ones, 1 or 2 trucks involved. So not the wild night I expected, but still not the night I expected, as we're on our, I believe, second caution of the night. Yeah, second caution of the night. So a little bit past the halfway mark. Not sure what the pit strategy is going to be. You see a lot of guys coming in, taking fuel, taking tires. Not sure if they were trying to fix some damage as well, or if they've got a trying to go for the long haul and see if they can squeeze this thing out to the end, but not sure what the crew chiefs of Lee and Howell and Burgess have going on. Not sure if they're going for a different pit strategy. They're going to try to do a little bit of fuel saving maybe and try and stick it on the end, but with 25 laps to go, I am extremely curious how this is going to play out. Earlier we saw everybody coming in on lap 25, or excuse me, 21 and 22 of green flag pit stops. This lead pack, the top 4, I believe, have all come in on lap 29. And we've ran about, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps under caution. So we're going to get out our handy dandy broadcaster calculator here. So lap 29, if they went green all the way around, they should be able to hit lap 50. So not sure how these extra 4 or 5 laps of fuel saving mode under caution is going to play out for these guys. If I'm doing my math right, I think they're going to be a few laps short. But granted, I am a broadcaster and not a racer, so I'm sure one of these friendly racers will get up in the booth with me later and go, "Ah, sir, we could have done 30, 40 laps. No worries." But pace car is in. We're going to keep all eyes on Matthew Lee as he gets a launch. Lee drops down low. Does not want to get left hang out the right. So Lee does have the disadvantage. He is burning more fuel, leading that pack. He's the only truck kind of busting through the air right there. But he hits the fan of the outside line, tries to get it formed again, but oh, they're weaving all over the place back there. Hold it together, gentlemen. We got 5 to go here around Daytona International. You got Joseph Burgess trying to work that high line. He's going to drop down low back in front of TJ O'Haron. Behind O'Haron, we've got Radke. He's up 8 spots, but Joseph Burgess, he's up 17 spots right now. So those crashes and his pit cycles worked out in his favor. He's also last pitted on lap 29. I am extremely intrigued with what's going to happen with Lee out there pushing all that air by himself. He's got Lee's got Howell all over his rear bumper. We call it Edwards. Edwards towed the pit. There they go, right as we switch to 25, James Kaufman, he goes for round. It's the big one at Daytona, ladies and gentlemen. There is trucks everywhere. Absolute carnage out here. Oh, so many people involved in that one. That's going to be Jay Dargert, maybe the one is causing that crash there. See if we can get a camera on it. Yeah, 25. Let's back that up a little bit. See what transpires here. What caused all this mess, gentlemen? So we see the 25 here. Excuse me, the 57. 25 gets a little bit loose, goes into the Chick-fil-A machine on the outside. Just cars scattered everywhere. So that's the 57 machine of Jay Dargert. He gets away pretty scot-free. So another caution coming out with 23 to go. Our lead pack's not happy, I don't think. They want to stay out there. They want to race, but every pit stop every yellow we see, I say we might be able to make it to the end, but we do see the lead pack coming in now. That's going to be Matthew Lee, TJ O'Haron, Matthew Lee, Peyton Powell, Jeffrey Radke, Michael Johnson, all coming in. Only guys currently still out on track right now is Joseph Burgess and TJ O'Haron. and a couple guys way in the back. You'll see William Lothar starting to climb up the leaderboard as he stays out. I mean, we called it earlier, guys. We said William Lothar, he gets the lucky dog. He's got a chance to try and save something here. And he does. He's back up into third place just like that. So absolute carnage here at Daytona. A lot of good trucks taken out in that. But now, if there was ever a doubt, we do believe that Lee, Howe, those really fast guys who've been calling all night, they should be able to make it to the end here. It's going to be about 21 or 20 to go once we go green. We saw that early pit cycle of the night at lap 21 under wide open circumstances. So these guys should be able to push till the very end here. All those guys, very short pit stops. Matthew Lee with a 5.45 second pit stop, followed by Peyton Howe with a 6.17. So what that means for you guys, they're either only taking fuel or they're taking right side tires and fuel. But there's a normal pit stop with a full tank and 4 tires is around that 14, 15 second mark, depending on how you hit your spot. So this is shaping up to be an interesting one here. We were just talking about earlier, ladies and gentlemen, how clean, how great the racing was, and then things kind of got a little bit upset. Cautions breed cautions. We're on a third caution. I mean, these all came out in the last several laps, so we haven't got a whole lot of runs since our initial 29 laps or so we were able to kick off. We're going to line them up possibly for the final time here around Daytona. Excuse me, final restart with a little bit of luck. We've got Matthew Lee. He's had great launches, but now he's kind of stuck there in fourth, down 3 spots after how those pit cycles work themselves out. Joseph Burgess currently in first. He's up 19 positions. He's definitely the hard charger so far. TJ O'Haron in second, William Lothar in third after a very early crash in the race. So things just like that get shaken up thanks to cautions and different pit cycles, which as a broadcaster, as a racer, I like to see things kind of get changed up instead of the same cookie cutter pit stops all the way through. Gives these racers a chance to show their smarts off the track and not just on the track, so pretty fun to see. Beautiful shot, that Daytona banking from somebody that's racing motorcycles out here. I've got to tell you, probably one of the scariest and most intimidating bankings you can ever be around. iRacing doesn't give it credit. The TV broadcasts don't give it credit of just how steep. I believe it's a 30-something degree angle. Pace car is in. We're going to be watching Joseph Burgess here, see what type of launch he gets. Green flag is out. 47 of William Lothar has the speed, wants to do something with it, but has to check up just a little bit. Oh, this is where things are going to get exciting, I think. We've got Matthew Lee. A little bit of forward check that inside line. Not as clear as he thought he was. Lee's going to be all over the bumper of, I believe that's O'Haron right in front of him. Lee, somebody who's showing he's got the pace. He's going to make it 3 wide down the backstretch of Daytona. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lee's getting a good push from Peyton Howell. They're going to try and get themselves up the front. Howell's not clear to the inside yet. There they go. Those two are going to drop down low, try and work together, click off the laps and get away from the mess behind them. But they're still 3 wide behind them. Guys are having a little bit of a problem holding their line. You see some bumping and grinding up there on the high side. All the racers did a pretty good job of navigating that, getting it through it clear. Man, great racing all the way through here tonight. That outside line, not quite the consistency they need to get up to the front. Howell has been showing he's such a good pusher out here at the Daytona, especially with the draft. Aggressively keep up to the front with just the two two-car train for the most part. They're doing that all on their own. I mean, yes, that inside line support's helping them out, but it has been Howe and Lee just aggressively bump drafting it up to the front. That's how they made that 3-wide pass work down the middle. But here comes number 19, Joseph Burgess on the outside. He's got support. I believe that's O'Haron right behind him trying to make something happen. O'Haron gets a little bit wide there on the back section of 3 and 4. They're getting a little bit wiggly on that outside line. Nobody can really see where they're going. It's kind of hard to have reference marks here in the middle of the train right there. Howell and Lee still pushing as hard as they can on the inside, trying to hold it smooth, hold it steady. They've got to stay extremely consistent. Good pass on that outside line, but Joseph Burgess is trying to make it happen. Burgess keeps getting spectacular runs on the outside, just not enough to clear himself down to the low side. He's got the support from that outside line. It's just how long is he going to make it work? And the answer is 17 laps to go. He's going to make it work as long as he can and then probably drop down a little bit. And Matthew Lee, Peyton Howe, they've been such a good pair of draft partners here tonight. You'll see on your screen, last time around, Burgess did a 48.713. His best was a 47.959, up 18, 17 positions or so as he goes back and forth with Howe in front of him. But, I mean, Peyton up 16, 17 positions. He's no slouch tonight. He's been driving spectacularly and doing what he can to get back to the front. That outside line just not quite consistent enough to really reel in that inside pack. They're a little bit, they're playing that snake game where one truck wiggles, the other truck wiggles. Towards the end of that train, it's just exponentially worse. It's kind of like that practice game with trampoline where you try and give your friend whiplash when they run in small age. Oh man, the drafting there is just a sight to behold. That is textbook. 16 laps to go, still 2 by 2 as far as the eye can see. Good, clean racing for everybody. And Joseph Burgess still doing his best to get that outside line working, but you can see the difference between Matthew Lee, Peyton Howe, how close those two trucks are running compared to, there we go, there's a proper bump draft on the outside. Burgess getting a massive push by O'Haron. That's what you got to see from those guys, consistently try and get the speed to clear themselves from those top two. Burgess gets another run, but Howe and Lee just glued to each other here. Oh man, this is good. So Joseph Burgess shows a lot of his story. He's the current race leader as far as the in-track transponders. Trying to get that line working. They're so close to getting it happen, but it's going to take a lot of work to clear that outside. They're starting to get that really good, strong two-car team. Just as we say that, Howe gives another good push to Lee. And then Burgess gets a push from O'Haron. So a lot of these drivers working together. They want up there. Nobody wants the second, third, fourth, or fifth. Granted, consistency wins championships. This case, a championship can bring you home $1,000 USD. But these guys are racers. They want to win. They want to be up there. Nobody's here to settle for second and third. We go on board with Jason Burgess. Shows just how close he is with Matthew Lee going around the back corners. But man, Lee and Howe just working so good in tandem. That outside line still playing a pretty aggressive game of snake. They go 3 and 4 wide. Oh no! Burgess goes around. Huge crash from Burgess. Oh no. Burgess not having the night he wanted. Oh, let's see if we can get a replay of the calamity that we pursued. Let's see if we get that one with our FEG PC sponsored helicopter view for the night. Big ups to those guys for providing the slow-mo camera. So, yeah, I think Burgess maybe got hit, not quite squared up from O'Haron behind him, but we lost a lot of good men out there on that one. I see 5, 6, 7 cars collected. We've got blown motors. We've got hurt feelings, and I'm sure we've just ruined some friendships there. So really didn't shake up that lead pack a whole lot. Burgess, our fan favorite, to try and make something happen with that, getting that outside line foreman, doesn't have the cards play out for him. So it's still Lee, Howell, Lothar currently sitting in third. Lothar again had a huge early crash on in the night. Avoids that second one, manages to stay out, and suddenly he's in podium contention. You can see a few cars dropping in here with 12 to go. Looks like Lee, Howell, Johnson staying out. So now we're going to see those lead 3 cars, trucks I should say, coming into pit lane. They're going to, not quite sure what the pit strategy is going to be here with 11 to go. So Lee and Howell, they've shown they have the pace that they can pretty quickly get by 3 or 4 cars at a time, especially when we're working together. So not sure if the guys are going to plan to stay out 11 to go. I would assume so at this point. They've gone a fair amount of laps on those tires. It's our 4th caution. We've got 11 to go. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, my friends. I'm expecting to see them come down pit road. But Lee might have a different strategy. He may stay out, try something. We see how he's kind of hinting at pit lane, but I would assume he's going to follow Lee, who's been his draft partner all night. I don't predict how will come in unless Lee does. Looks like Lee is pretty resoundingly going to stay out. So it's shaping up into about a 9-lap shootout here at Daytona. This is going to be very, very exciting. Lee and Howell have been bump draft partners all night. Kenneth McCullough Jr., he's back up to 4th place. William Lothar was in 3rd. He's back down into 10th after boxing that last go around. So we know he's got the pace to stay out there. He might have had damage. It shows him with a 26-second pit stop. So he used his fast repair, his one and only fast repair early on in the race. Scratched his way back up and then gets involved in that huge pile up. Man, what a roller coaster for Mr. Lothar tonight. Now this restart's going to be interesting. Lee is going to want to do his best to get a very strong launch as quickly as he can. Peyton's going to do his best to not allow Lee to drop low. We've seen Howell in the 71 machine pushing all night pretty aggressively on Lee. We know he's a great person to work with as far as it is getting away from the carnage. But with it's gonna be 9 laps to go, I believe, on the restart. He's gonna be in a rough spot to try and stay out front. I'm not sure where the best spot to begin is on this restart. It could be 2nd place to try and get the draft working. You might see somebody in 3rd, 4th, or 5th make something happen towards the end of this race if they can get the draft partners to work with. Like we've seen all night, though, that high line's been really tough to get forming with people. When it finally started to do, I mean, it was the end of the road for, I believe, as Burgess got involved in that massive crash and had bad luck. But green flag is out. Lee is going to be able to squeeze down in front of Peyton Howell's 71 machine. Yellow flag is out already. See if we can get that FEG PC replay. We saw Jose Medina involved. He's in the number 24 machine. What was that? Jose gets absolutely dumped. I'm not sure what that was. And I don't know if the driver thought he was clear, but that was just gross negligence. That was, oh man, that is terrible for Medina. Let's get it once more, maybe a better angle, but it looks like he just got absolutely turned, it looked like. We're going to watch a super slow-mo. Medina appears to be holding his line pretty good. Yeah, just gets demolished. Not sure what Medina did to deserve that one, but that's going to be probably the end of his night, I believe. Man, you hate to see that for Medina. That's... You can't even call that bad luck. That's just... That just stinks. So I would love to have the driver radio on right now, but I'm also very thankful I don't, because that could have been some excitement over on the driver radio. So right now it's once again Matthew Lee's going to be out front of the restart. Peyton Howell, Kenneth McCullough Jr., the local Georgia driver, he's up 11 spots. Michael J. Johnson's going to be in 4th. Derek Fulton in 5th. Eight laps to go. Everybody should be able to go the rest of the stint. No worries on their tires and fuel. Lead car still keeping it green, keeping it clean. Yeah, definitely not the race we expected here at Daytona. Usually kind of on super speedways, you might expect a few crashes early on. You might expect a few crashes towards the end as everybody's rushing to make something happen. So listen to that car of Matthew Lee. Gives it a little bit of throttle, pulls in the clutch, coasted as far as he can. He's fuel saving around here at Daytona. Last pit was lap 38, 19 laps ago. So Lee may actually bring it in this time by, along with his newfound draft partner, Peyton Howell. Man, with less than 6 laps to go on the restart, this is going to be an interesting if they do come on pit lane. No, Lee goes back out. He's not doing it. He's going to fuel save all the way around. Let's go back to his cockpit view. I want you guys to hear this machine. Or I should say better, not hear this machine. There you go. That's current leader Matthew Lee. You hear him giving a little bit of gas, pulling that clutch and coasting as far as he possibly can. He's in prime time fuel saving mode. Not sure if he's got the fuel to bring it home. It's going to be an interesting race here to the finish. You got to remember too, Lee's been out front the entire time. He hasn't had the air taken off the front of his truck, making it a little bit more fuel efficient as number 71 Peyton Howell has. So Howell, in theory, should have a fuel advantage here. Or we're going to re-rack them. It's going to be 5 to go at the line. It's anybody's guess what's going to happen. I'm excited. I hope you are as well. We're going to see the pace car in this time by. Eerily quiet here at Daytona International Speedway as everybody's saving fuel even as the pace car is about to come in. Pace car is in. Oh, Matthew Lee barely squeezed in front of Peyton Howell. It's going to be 5 to go. I am extremely curious how fuel is going to come into play here. Matthew Lee's been charging up front most of the night, getting a good strong push from Peyton Howell. Number 39 machine, Michael Johnson, starts getting the outside line working. He's accompanied by Derek Fulton, the number 70 machine. They get a good strong drive on the outside. Number 3, Kenneth McCullough Jr. has a massive blink. He's gone for a couple seconds. Kenneth tries to get that outside line working. That outside line is going to try and form up, see if they can get around Matthew Lee. Lee's got to hold on to it here if he wants any chance of bringing it home, but Michael Johnson's gonna just gets edged out by Lee and they can try to start finish line straight. Oh, this is shaped up to be a good one. 4 to go. We've got 2 very strong lines forming. Lee leads his pack. You've got Michael Johnson leading his. Don't forget about Peyton Howell. He's been happy pushing the entire time, but sooner rather than later, you might see him hop out of line. If he can get clear of the 39 machine, Michael Johnson, he wants a chance at the win. Lap traffic's right in the way, for the love of God. Look out, boys. Every line starts swerving all over the place. It's going to upset the outside line. It's going to kill their arrow just a little bit. Matthew Lee gets a commanding launch on that outside line. Inside line seems like the place to be right now, as outside's kind of all over the place. They get touched. They crash behind them. Somehow the yellow hasn't come out there. Very confused. Maybe it's something to do with the time constraints. Not really sure. But that is a huge, huge break for Matthew Lee and Peyton Howell. Looks like Kenneth McCullough Jr. gets through fine. Michael Johnson gets through. Stephen Page still looking all right. So that's your top pack right now. They're all running single file. So it's an odd number of cars. We got 5 cars in the lead pack. That does get the opportunity for one group of 3 to form an outside line and make something happen. Whoever has that 3-car pack's got a better chance of pushing themselves up to the front. So that's going to look like it's going to be Michael Johnson maybe getting pushed by Kenneth McCullough Jr. Excuse me, that's Stephen Page pushing Michael J. Johnson. They've got a two-truck lineup going, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as Matthew Lee and Peyton Howell have been running extremely great. And now Kenneth McCullough's in the mix on that inside line. Yeah, that outside line's going to have to break apart, drop down low, and see if they can figure out something left. But 2 laps to go. We've once again got lap traffic. He's getting out of the way, so major thumbs up for him getting off the race line. He doesn't want to be a deciding factor in this race. Oh, no. Look at Michael J. Johnson falling way, way off the pace here. Johnson's last pit stop was on lap 38, I'm showing. So Johnson either has a problem or he may be running out of fuel, as the white flag is out. And we've got a serious battle for the lead right now. We've got Matthew Lee still out front. Kenneth McCullough Jr. getting a strong push from Stephen Page. But man, Peyton Howell and Matthew Lee have been absolutely dominant. Oh, this is going to be a good one. It's going to be a hard one to call, that's for sure. Lap traffic still doing their best. Oh, what is happening here? Major blink from iRacing. Oh, look at this. They're 3 wide around the start. Here we go. And they're crashing. Peyton Howell goes around. Matthew Lee wins it.
Stephen Page brings second, and then Michael J. Johnson limps it home to third. Johnson might have been involved in that crash. What a finish here at Daytona. See if we get a replay here for everybody. Let's back that up. Peyton Howell goes to avoid a crash, I believe. Let's back this camera angle up. So it looks like the 71. I mean, how do you call good hard racing like that? That's a tough one. They're all nose to tail, bumping and drafting. Looks like the 71. Not sure. Nah, I think that's going to be netcode right there, guys. 71 was very close to the 03 machine of Kenneth McCullough Jr., but I don't know if I can fault him on that one. That looked like textbook netcode to me. That looks like netcode. It looks like he had a good foot and a half between them. And then the iRacing gods had other plans. So that is going to be Matthew Lee, Stephen Page, Michael Johnson, our unofficial results. So we watch Matthew Lee burning it down, second race in a row from him tonight. So unofficial results are Matthew Lee up front, Stephen Page in second, Michael J. Johnson in third, Peyton Howell, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Eric Parks, Matthew Curry, Joseph Burgess, Jeffrey Radke, TJ O'Haron, Jose Medina, Blaine Edwards, William Lothar, Derek Fulton, Jay Dargert, Buddy Pitts, Chad Ross, Donald Stewart. And then you got James Kaufman and Joshua Doobie with another rough round. So that's going to round out your top 20 tonight. We're going to try and get some drivers up here in the broadcast booth for post-race interviews. All right, we're going to see if we can get these drivers here as quickly as we can. We are waiting on Michael J. Johnson, Stephen Page to the broadcast booth. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break, and then we'll try and get our current top three up here. All right, we're back live with Michael Johnson, our third place finisher tonight. Michael, you read me?
Yeah, I got you.
Michael, good, clean run. Did your best to get that outside line working, and then calamity ensued. How'd the race go for you tonight?
It went clean there to start with. I was working with the front guys there. I was hoping we was going to stay green because we'd worked ourselves up to about a 5-6 second lead there. But that's how these plate races go. It's
Now,
just after we got up there, tried to get the top lane going. Like this, for whatever reason, Derek and my truck, they just didn't work good together. Either I don't know, one of us caused that mess there at the end. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
yeah, watching the replay, it looked like net code from our point of view. It looked like a good 1.5 feet between the trucks. So not quite sure what happened either. It didn't look like anything malicious from the broadcast booth. Now, Michael, was fuel any concern as we stretched that green flag run out at the end?
No, not really. I think we had enough caution laps there at the end to get us to the end. Because I know I could go probably 21, 22 laps, and that's right around where I pitted with 21, 22 to go. They had all those caution flags. So I think we were good to go, plus for the green-white checker if we did.
Right on. Michael, before I let you go, good, strong third place finish. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go for tonight?
Yeah, we got Plan B sales and Circle B diecast on our truck. They're sponsoring us for this whole season, and then all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports.
Well, awesome, Michael. Great performance tonight. I know it's not quite where you wanted to finish, but still a great race nonetheless.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, up next we got the man of the hour, 2 in a row, Matthew Lee. Matt, you read me?
I gotcha.
Matt, it was looking a little bit dicey there in the end. The outside line finally got it together with the closing laps there. Were you worried your friend in need, Hal, wasn't going to have the push you needed to bring you home?
Yeah, I was doing everything I could to keep him to me with just me and him. It makes it a little hard just being two cars where I had to pedal it to get back to him to get the push that we needed to stay with those guys. The only thing I could really do was to try to hold those guys up the track to keep them going the longest way around. Looked like they had the three cars at one point there, so just doing everything we could to bring us home 1-2, hopefully, but it didn't work out that way. Still glad to see he got fourth.
Yeah, Hal got involved in that last quarter mile shenanigans there, but I mean he was aggressively pushing you all the way around. Are you guys teammates that practice in your off time together, or is that just luck of somebody you found out there?
We're teammates over at CGE, and we've got quite a bit of practice with these super speedway races together. Where we're pretty good at controlling a race when we need to.
Well, good. So Matt, again, 2 in a row. Yeah, I guess you're going to Disney World after this. But anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
I thank Peyton and Bladen for the help all night. CGE, all the guys over there, Martin Sports, Maconi Setup Shop, GTR Simulators, and Shenandoah Shine.
Well, awesome, Matt. We hope to see you at the next races out there. Good talking to you again.
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right, we're going to circle back to second place. We've got Stephen Page. Stephen, you read me?
I got you, bud.
Steven, you brought it home in second. We didn't get to call you out in the first race, but you were there at the end tonight. Any strategy to surviving that, or was it a little bit of luck mixed in with talent?
Not too much talent. Probably mostly luck. We got through that last crash there, and I don't know, caution didn't come out. We stayed hammered down and was able to stay with them there. So I was giving the 03 a pretty good run, but we just didn't have anything for Matt there. But still not a bad run.
No, not at all. You guys kept it clean. It was really good to see the aggressive pushing among friends, and for the most part, very good, clean racing. Did the yellow flags really mess up your pit strategy all tonight, or was it kind of everybody on the same strategy here?
Yeah, well, our team we had a kind of a plan going in, but yeah, it kind of everything kind of got messed up by halfway through. But we still had some good finishes, so it didn't work out too bad.
Well, good to hear it, Steven. And before I let you go, anybody you want to thank before we kick you out of the booth?
Yeah, just all my buddies that I race with that helped me out, and Page Lawn Care for paying the bills. That's it.
Awesome, Steven. We greatly appreciate you. Glad you salvaged some points in this doubleheader tonight, and we hope to see you doing well at the next one.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Yes, sir. And somehow, someway, we've got Jay Darger back in the booth.
How's it going, James?
Jay, that was not how you wanted to finish, sir.
I don't know. I'm just here for the fun, man. That's all. Just I thought I'd come up and listen to the broadcast, the interviews, on my own.
Oh, that's not how this happens. If you're in the booth, we're making you talk.
That's why I'm here, man, because I like to talk, man.
So we talked earlier. We're all trying to chase down Matthew Lee. He brings it home by the skin of his teeth, that one. Now, Jay, were you involved in that last lap crash? I'm not sure if I caught it on the replay.
I was in it. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like TJ got into the 19 truck, and then everything went haywire from there. Cost me 10 minutes of time in the pits getting repaired. Did end up getting out and still finishing, but our team didn't get to finish the way we had hoped. We had a good strategy, a good plan going in. That first caution, or the car that got off the track, caused us all to kind of get off pace a little bit. But, we stuck together. We had a good time. We got a great team of guys, and we're all here just for the fun of it, and we enjoy the racing. So that's why we're all here.
Awesome, Jay. As always, it's a great experience for me to call out a race with so many talented racers, and we hope you have a little bit better luck at the next one, sir.
James, thank you, man. I dig the name, my friend.
No worries. No worries, Jay. We'll see you soon,
Goon
sir.
squatters.
That's Jay Dargert finishing a real rough 15th place tonight, but definitely a fan favorite. Before I wrap up the broadcast tonight, as always, a big thanks to the FEG PC Racing League for having me out with the Team Goon Squad broadcasting. We'll be covering their Monday night truck series. You can catch us every Monday night. We'll be covering their Tuesday night dirt series, which is guaranteed to be a good time. And also added to their roster is a Wednesday night Cup series. So we'll be covering all three. Looking forward to more good, clean racing with some of the most talented racers you'll see on the iRacing network. So on behalf of James East with FEG PC as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you so much for tuning in tonight.